GWNN. Hey, we're gonna go over the rest of the games in the week 1 results, see how I did, and we'll also give you the winner of tonight's game. So let's get started here through the use of the sports machine. I'm dying to say that I don't have a sports machine anyway. Okay, so it's Indianapolis at the LA Rams, the Los Angeles Rams of Anaheim. No. So anyway, the score was Indianapolis 9, Los Angeles Rams 46. I read somewhere that the Los Angeles Rams looked like a completely new, different team, and they did. They struggled last year heavily. But now, I mean, you're putting up 46 points against an Indianapolis team. I mean, I don't think they ever were known as a defensive powerhouse anyway. But Indianapolis just without Andrew Luck, I think they're missing a lot. I kind of saw that, and I went with the Rams to go ahead and win. And the 42 was on the low side, so I did go with the over. The Rams putting up 46. They did the over/under by themselves, so I kind of guessed that was right. That was good. I got those right. So hats off to me, right? Seattle at Green Bay. Okay, so this was a NFC postseason possibility, and I picked Green Bay because I just think they're a better team. It was at Green Bay. The line was set at Green Bay -3.5, and it did go with the over, I want to say. The over/under was set at Green Bay. Green Bay. I went over. 51 points is the over/under, and this game was Seattle 9, Green Bay 17, so it stayed way under. And of course, Green Bay wins 9-17. Not a whole bunch of fireworks that you were expecting, but nonetheless, Green Bay did outscore them and win. Carolina at San Francisco. The score was 23-3. The line was set Carolina at 5.5. The over/under at 48. I don't know where they got 48 from. 48 is a huge number. Picked that game to go under, and it was correct. I wanted Carolina at 5.5 points. San Francisco's still a terrible team. They were consistently top or bottom 5 throughout the whole season, along with poor Bears and Browns. They only put up 3 points so far this season. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like they're doing any better. I got both of those right. I think Carolina still needs some work to do. You're putting 23 points against one of the worst teams in the NFL. I hope that they do get better. I'm kind of like pushing for Carolina to be a postseason team this season. The New York Jets at Dallas. Big hype on this game. This is the game of the week. New York Giants. The score was New York Giants 3, Dallas 19. Now I actually thought the other way around. I thought the Giants have had their number for more than a year and a half, and I thought they were going to continue to whip that ass, and I was completely wrong. Dallas actually showed me that it doesn't matter if they're a year of film or not, that they're going to win. And I picked the Giants, and I picked the under. I was right about the under, but I was wrong about the Giants continuing to win. Dallas is they're just a real team. I think they probably were a little bit upset about the Ezekiel thing, and they just kind of united as a team to show everybody that yeah, they really are the real deal. So that was the Sunday night game. Was that the Sunday night game? I think I'm missing a game here. Yeah. Yeah, that was the Sunday night game. So we go on to the Monday night games. Monday night game. The first one was New Orleans at Minnesota. Okay, we're going to give you the score, 19-29. New Orleans 19, Minnesota 29. The line was Minnesota by 3.5, just standard 3.5, 3 points. for the home team, and your over-under was 48. That was kind of high. That was a push because the score 19 and 29 was 30 plus 8. It was a push, whatever. 18. 30 plus 18 is 48. So that was a push over there in Minnesota. Minnesota, they actually put up some good, decent numbers. My thinking was that New Orleans is an old team. They haven't had any spectacular movements as far as personnel in a number of years. Now, okay, so you got a new running back. Maybe that's big personnel, but I mean, the guy's like 55 years old. What do you want? What do you want the guy to do? Besides, he was on the freaking sideline, making faces the whole damn game. He didn't help you. Drew Brees, yeah, he's a freaking superstar, and maybe he's a Hall of Fame contender, but he's 56 years old. Come on. So, it's time to shake things up. You know, if you're still doing the same thing after 6 months, you really should look into making some change. Words to live by, not only in football, but in your regular life, too. So, yeah, they really should, stir it up to do something different. You need to breathe some more life into this football program. You've been at the bottom of the South for quite some time now, in my opinion. Okay, the last game of the week was the LA Chargers at the Denver Broncos. 21 LA Chargers, 24 Denver. So Denver squeaks it out at home. The line was set at 3.5. Over-under was 43. So the over-under was actually on the low side. I went with the over, and I picked the Chargers to take this one, and I barely got that right because the line was set at 3.5. So the Chargers just barely covered, although Denver did win the game. Interesting game. I didn't actually watch this game. It was a little bit late for me. And I don't really remember any highlights or anything exciting in that game. I think the Chargers made a comeback because I was in and out of consciousness from being tired the whole day to watch the game. But you may actually see the Chargers start to do that a little bit more than come from behind and win. They're just slacking, I guess. I don't know. But I want to talk to you about the game that's coming up today. I'm going to try to put this up on the internet as soon as possible. Houston at Cincinnati is going to be the featured game of the Thursday night offering today. The line is set at 3.5, but it actually moved to 6, and I can totally see that. Cincinnati is a 6-point favorite. The over-under is set at 38, so that's on the low side. Both these teams combined last week for a total of 7 points. Houston only did 7. Cincinnati didn't do any point. They haven't scored the points any points this season. Andy Dalton looks like he's struggling. Houston has a lot of off-season things to deal with. J.J. Watt is looking like an all-star as a humanitarian. On the field, well, I don't know. We'll still have to see what happens there. They're on the road right now in Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati is going to buckle down and they're going to put something together as far as a game plan. Houston will hope to see if they can put more points up than 7. But they kind of have a quarterback situation and then off-field things. I don't really see them winning either. To me, that 6th line is a little bit high. But I don't know. I'm making my decision right now. 38 points. I actually see this going. I want to say over, but if you really break it down, what is it? It's like 20 points per team. Okay, so they planned for a total of 20 points last week, right? Or 7 points last week. But it's offense versus offense, not offense versus defense, not offense versus offense. So I'm gonna go over only because I think that Cincinnati really has something to prove, coming from a crushing defeat, getting shut out. So I'm gonna go with the over, and I really hope for Cincinnati's hope that they are going to cover. So I'm going to keep Cincinnati. It's the guy with no name, so there it is. I got Cincinnati -6 and the over in tonight's game. Put your money where your mouth is. Call your bookie. Get your wife that mink. And yeah, it's the biggest no-brainer in the history of GWNN.